All right, Shalom Israel. Once again, it's the brother Kalab here to the Spirit. About this article. So before I get started, I want to give all honor and glory to my power, which is Yahweh, Ka'Allah, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Al-Qaddas. And I was just checking the news, and I caught this article caught my eye, which is in regards to the uproar to the people in France. I'm going to just start with reading the article here. It says, and if you brothers are in the know, this pension reform, right? That the French people, they're in an uproar against the government, and even now, as they're protesting this new bill to up the age of retirement pension, right? It actually passed, so this is not looking good. And then we can only speculate or think that ultimately these upwards are going to continue because this is even before that new legislation has come into play. So I have this from AP News that says, and the heading is Macron's new pension age overcomes last hurdle amid protests. It says Paris, AP says France Constitutional Council on Friday approved an unpopular plan to raise retirement age from 62 to 64 in a victory over President Emmanuel Macron after months of mass protests that have damaged his leadership. The decision dismayed or enlarged critics of the pension plan. Hundreds of youth activists and others gathered peacefully in Paris Friday evening before stormtroopers broke off the marches towards historic Bastille Plaza and beyond, setting fire to garbage bins and scooters as police fire tear gas or pushed them back. Unions at Macron's political opponents sought to maintain pressure on the government to withdraw the bill, and activists threatened scattered new protests Saturday. And I would just go here just to highlight that. I've seen it on the brothers' Twitter. Let me see if I can follow it, see if I can find it here real quick. If not, I'll just forget about it. But forget how to use these things. Let me just Google this thing. I mean, swap. There we go. This is a tweet here. It says Paris burns as people lose their final legal battle against the state. And the protesters outside of course on activists sided with Macron, who's the 11th time since the re-election has bypassed Parliament and not allowed. I've seen another one where they stormed a Parliament building, I believe. There. So with that, I don't know if you see what's going on through the spirit in Slovakia. I have Proverbs chapter 29 too. It says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. And that's what's going on, this devil, he is ultimately oppressing the people there, his own people in France, and these people are just sick and tired of it through the spirit. Second Ezra chapter 15 and 14 says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. For the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hand. For there shall be, this is marking the time that we're in, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. There shall not regard their kings, nor princesses, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. And these people are ultimately going to take matters into their own hands, as we see, these upwards of the people, which is an indicator of the signs of the times that we're living in. Second Ezra chapter 9 and 3 says, so when there shall appear in the world earthquakes come up with people. That's what we're seeing right there in France. This is in the revised standard version. They couldn't find 3 and 5 particularly, and so the KJV says, so when there shall appear in the world earthquakes, tumults of peoples, introduce of nations, wavering of leaders, confusion of princesses, then you will know that it was of these that the Most High spoke of the days that were of old from the beginning. But just as with everything that has occurred in the world, the beginning is evident and the end is manifest. So that's deep. That's heavy, right? And with the suppression on the people, using righteous decrees. Well, let me back up a little bit. Seeing that, the second Ezra chapter 9:3, right, and 5, it's giving us an indicator of the times that we're at. Okay, we're at the time at the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak in our lives. So this vision is clear. What's the vision? The destruction of Babylon the Great, right, which is America, but ultimately it's all these other nations as well that have the same spirit, and that's what Yahweh Shai is destroying. And these oppressions on these people, Yahweh Shai is not with that. You know, Yahweh Shai needs to set up his own government, and that's what Yahweh Shai says in these nations that don't rule in righteousness. And this is just one example of Yahweh Shai. You know what he deems righteous, right? So I have Proverbs chapter 11:1 says, "A false balance is an abomination to the Adawan, but the just weight is his delight." And 13 to 64, just to barely survive is an unjust balance. So, you know, Yahweh Shai has to do his good. And we're prophesying of these things to come right through the Spirit. Have Jeremiah chapter 23:8 says, "The prophet that has been before me and before thee of old prophesied against many countries and the great things and against great kingdoms of war and the evil and the pestilence." And these are great evils, okay, which ultimately is going to lead up to this solution and more misery, right? More misery on the people. It's the last thing I have for this article here. The second Ezra chapter 8:50 says, "The many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world because they have walked in great pride." Hey, ultimately, God bless you next time. Please, this wickedness. Let me see if I get it. And not to mention, you can for that pride, for that arrogancy, this thing is actually going to come to here to the state. Okay, Second Ezra chapter 16 and 18. So how about you next time going to bring that success upon these Babylonians as well here in America and into our 2/3 into the 2/3 of our people collected. Second Ezra chapter 15:1 says, "Behold, speak out in the ears of my people the words of prophecy which I'll put in thy mouth, say out of one, cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Fear not the imaginations against thee, that not they could do their integrity that speak against thee, for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness." And this is what I should have really got. Regardless, all this the beginning was great. Could be the reason why Yahweh is going down the current system. Because they walk in great sight, listening to the whole world, the earth, all the way up to heaven, right? This is what Yahweh through the prophecy, the things that we speak of, this great evil to come. Second Ezra chapter 15:5 says, "Behold, saith Adawan, I have been placed upon the world, sword, famine, death, and destruction. The wickedness has experienced through the whole earth, and the helpful works are fulfilled. Therefore, says Adawan, I will hold my kingdom more and take from their wickedness and take for banishment." Not to mention all the adultery, all the transgenderism, all the greed, all the filth, all the adultery. I said, God, about to start throwing this thing down. Neither will I suffer them in no sins, and with the exercise, Satanism, right? And the Europeans are heavy into paganism, devil worship, idol worship. How much can I say, hey, you gotta throw these heathens down? And with the wickedly exercising self, behold the innocent and the righteous blood cried unto me, and the souls of the just complain continuously to the spirit that's us, and that's why you have